What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome to the Assault Rifle Camo Guide. In this guide, I'm going to be going through every single one of the camos for assault rifles and giving you guys the best tips that I can to help you guys earn these more effectively. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so hopping right into it, the assault rifles I would say are one of the easier classes to complete, but there are a lot of them, so it is quite time consuming. It is a bit of a grind, that's for sure, especially with all the headshots. But first off, I just want to explain how exactly the camos work for the people that may be like brand new to the game and just don't understand the camo progression. So first up with assault rifles, we have to get 200 kills to get the wilderness camo. That's all you have to do, just 200 kills, doesn't matter what you're using, how you're using it, as long as you're using that gun and getting 200 kills with it, you'll get the wilderness camo complete. If you're still in this stage, I would use this stage to just get a good feel for the gun. Mix up your attachments a little bit, mix up your playstyles a little bit, and find out what works for you with that particular gun. Once you complete wilderness, this unlocks the next set of challenges, which are the headshot challenges. You have to get a total of 160 headshots with assault rifles to get the zebra camo unlocked, and as you go through and unlock these headshot camos, you will start to unlock the final 5 camo challenges that you need. So you don't have to complete all the headshot challenges before starting to work on the final 5 like you did in Black Ops 3. You unlock those final 5 challenges as you go. But for now, let's focus on the headshot challenges. And this is what I'm going to be spending the most time on for this episode, because I feel like it's the most important thing and the most grindy thing with assault rifles. Most of the final 5 challenges are going to be relatively easy. So with headshots, I'm going to be going over which mode is going to be best for each one of the guns, as well as whether or not you're going to be wanting to use hollow point or Faraday slug on your gun with a particular mode. Because in some game modes with some guns, that Faraday slug or hollow point attachment is actually completely useless and not doing anything to help you at all. I'm going to skim through these fairly briefly and just let you guys know what my favorite mode is and why for each one of these guns. Of course, with all of these guns, you can get headshots in any single game mode that you want. So at the end of the day, if you're much more comfortable in a particular game mode, play that one and it might work out a little bit better for you. And for most of these assault rifles, I'll tell you guys right up front, tactical team deathmatch is going to be the way to go. And that definitely holds true for our first assault rifle, which is the NV4. With the NV4, if you're running hollow point in tactical team deathmatch, it's actually a one-shot kill to the head out to 41 meters, which is going to be most of the gunfights you'll find yourself in with the NV4. This is absolutely amazing. Like in hardcore, for instance, with the NV4, yeah, it's also going to be a one-shot headshot, but the thing with that is you also die way faster in hardcore, and in tactical team deathmatch, you can soak up usually a few bullets, which gives you more time to get that one-shot headshot off, and therefore headshots should be rolling in like crazy with the NV4. If you are going to be using it in core game modes though, make sure you also pop on that hollow point attachment. It's definitely going to be helping you out quite a bit. Moving on to the next one, we have the R3K, and we have a very similar story. The R3K is okay in core game modes, and it's okay in hardcore, but it absolutely dominates in tactical team deathmatch. And the nice thing to know in tactical team deathmatch with the R3K, you're actually still going to get a one-shot headshot out to 30 meters without Faraday slug. That's right, you don't need Faraday slug on the R3K if you're going for headshots in tactical team deathmatch, because it's going to be a one-shot headshot out to 30 meters. Now, if you do want to extend that one-shot headshot distance out to infinity, sure, you can pop on Faraday slug and it will always be a one-shot headshot with the R3K, but I feel it's kind of unnecessary and I'd rather spend that point elsewhere on my class. Another little tip I can give you here with the R3K when you're going for headshots is use the counterbalance variant. It's a common variant, so even if you don't have it, it's worth the 200 salvage in my mind. Use that variant. Your groupings are going to be much tighter with your 3-round burst, and headshots are going to be super easy with this gun in tactical TDM. Also, just wanted to point out, if you happen to have the epic variant, which is the Wrecked, it's the exact same story. Even without Faraday slug, it's going to be a one-shot headshot out to 30 meters with the Wrecked. So if you prefer that full auto and you happen to have that epic variant, then you can definitely use that. Moving on to the K-Bar, this is one of the guns where I would say this excels more in core game modes over hardcore and tactical TDM. It's simply outclassed by a lot of the other guns when you're playing hardcore as well as tactical TDM. That's not to say that you can't use these modes for headshots with the K-Bar, but I would highly recommend playing core game modes and definitely use that hollow point attachment, because in core game modes, once again, just one headshot mixed in with all your other shots will reduce the number of shots it takes to kill by 1 with the K-Bar, so in my mind, that's definitely the way to go. Moving on to the Type 2, once again, I would say this gun excels more in core game modes when you're going for headshots, as long as you're using that Faraday slug attachment, because it's now going to be a 4-shot kill as long as you land one of those shots in the head, which means this gun is now outclassing NV4s, which is very solid in core game modes. If you're playing hardcore, unless you're using a Faraday slug attachment, it's actually going to be 2 shots to the head to get a kill, so always run Faraday slug if you happen to be doing it in hardcore. And finally, in Tactical Team Deathmatch, it's going to be a 2-shot headshot to kill, even with Faraday Slug. So Faraday Slug is doing absolutely nothing for you on the Type 2 in Tactical TDM. And also, this gun is generally outclassed by the other assault rifles in the game when you're playing Tactical TDM. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend this mode for the Type 2, but having said that, it's still pretty easy to land 2 shots to the head fairly quickly with this gun. Moving on to the Volk, hands down, Tactical TDM is the best mode to get headshots with the Volk. It kind of sucks that the Volk is still a 3-shot kill to the body in Tactical TDM, which is the same as in core game modes, which really does suck. But one interesting thing I found with my testing is you're going to get a 1-shot headshot without Faraday Slug all the way out to 43 meters. This makes this mode a goldmine for headshots with the Volk, because you don't even need to use that extra attachment on the Faraday Slug, and as long as you're accurate with your shots and you're hitting those headshots quickly, you're going to be putting people down left, right, and center. So finally, we have the OSA. Now just keep in mind, to get diamond camos on the assault rifles, you don't need to get the gold camo unlocked for the OSA, but if you are going for the black sky camo, you will need to get the OSA gold. And with the OSA, it's the same story as the K-bar. They're very similar when it comes to damage profiles. I would recommend just sticking to core game modes with the OSA and also pop on that hollow point attachment. Headshots will come a lot easier in that mode compared to the other modes in the game. So just to quickly recap, the NV4 is great in any mode, just pop that hollow point attachment on anything but hardcore. The R3K and the Volk are both really nice exceptions. They dominate in Tactical TDM if you're going for headshots, and you don't need Faraday Slug on either of these to get those 1-shot headshots out to a decent distance. The K-bar, the OSA, and the Type 2, I would recommend sticking to core game modes and make sure you're using that Faraday Slug or hollow point depending on which style of gun it is. So now that we have the headshots covered, let's move into the final 5 camos. And first up, we have the Autumn Camo. This one is unlocked after you unlock your first headshot camo, and it requires you to get 25 long shots. Now I've already covered long shots in great detail. I did a whole video on it, and in that video I share exactly the long shot distance that you need, as well as towards the end of the video I shared tons of long shot spots that are really practical spots that you guys can use to maximize your success while getting long shots. I will leave a link down in the description below if you want to go check that video out, especially towards the end of the video. Like I said, you've got lots of long shot spots on every one of the base maps in the game. It makes long shots super easy for you guys. But having said this, I will give you guys a little tip here. If you are going for long shots, I would recommend playing hardcore game modes and use the VMC sight in the zoomed in mode. The VMC sight zoomed in will pretty much eliminate idle sway so it stays steadily on target, and then it also increases center speed, which essentially reduces your recoil. Also, in hardcore game modes, it's a whole lot easier to hit 2 shots at longer ranges than to hit like 5 or 6 shots that you would have to hit in core game mode, so that's why I'd recommend hardcore. Now, after you unlock your second headshot challenge, we unlock the Whiteout Camo. And this one just requires you to get 50 kills while aiming down sight and using an optic. And with this one, there's really no tips for me to give. Use the sight that you're most comfortable with and just play with the gun for a few games. You'll get this unlocked, no problem whatsoever. After Whiteout, we've got the Bengal Camo, which is unlocked with your third headshot challenge completion. And with this one, we now have to get 50 kills with the weapon with no attachments equipped. And once again, there's really not much I can give you guys for tips here. It's pretty straightforward. Take the attachments off your gun, play a few games, and you'll get this camo done, no problem. After Bengal, we've got our Murdered Out Camo, and this one requires you to get 2 rapid kills 20 times with this weapon. Now for most people, this is just going to happen over time while you use this gun. You're going to get those double kills every now and then, depending on the game modes that you play. Like in Free For All, for instance, you might not get this quite as often as somebody that's playing like Hardpoint or something like that. If you do happen to be struggling with this particular camo, I would recommend playing objective game modes where enemies tend to group up. So Domination, Hardpoint, Demolition, these are all great modes for this where enemies tend to group up into a particular area. So finally, once you unlock all of the 160 headshots, you will unlock the ability to complete the Neon Tiger Camo. And with this one, you have to get a 3 kill streak with the gun 20 times. This one should be relatively straightforward as well. I know for some people, a 3 kill streak is a little bit more difficult than for other people. Just make sure you're using your best possible setup if you're struggling with this. I would recommend sticking to something like Team Deathmatch, but in reality, play the game mode that you're most comfortable with going on streaks in, and this will just come over time. For those beasts out there, you won't even have to think about this, it just happens. So once you complete all those camo challenges for a gun, you will get that assault rifle gold, and once you get all of the assault rifles gold, excluding the OSA like I said, you will get the diamond camo for the assault rifles. Now for those of you guys wondering what the next step is, you can earn the solar camo by getting every single one of the non-classic weapons, including secondaries and launchers and everything like that. If you can complete all of their camo challenges and get all of them gold, you'll get the solar camo. And then finally, for the black sky camo, you have to complete all of the camo challenges for every single weapon in the game. So that's going to wrap it up for today's camo guide. I'm going to be going through these camo guides relatively sporadically as I complete the challenges myself. I've got diamond assault rifles, I've got diamond LMGs, I'm extremely close to getting diamond SMGs, I just have to put in a little bit of time, and I'm working my way through all of the other ones as well. So those will keep coming out as I keep earning them, so just be patient with this series and they will keep coming. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.